Yes, you are listening to the Ready, Set, Retire radio podcast with Steve Anzuoni. My name is Jessica Forkel. Get more details on the website at fairwayfinancial.net. Now, Steve, I recently saw someone wrote into an advice column at smartasset.com, and they asked, if I take $85,000 out of my 401k, will it make my Medicare premium go up? Of course, the answer was yes, but not just for that year. Your Medicare premium is based on your income from 2 years earlier. So do you see this a lot when people have higher Medicare premiums in the first few years of retirement? And also, how do you build this into their plan?
I know. It's almost impossible because you just got to project it out. But there's always traps everywhere along, whether you're taking your Social Security maybe too early, maybe you're still working, making too much money. It's always tricky because when people retire, and you were making good money, and then they stop retiring and they take their Medicare, they're like, ouch, it's like this premium's bigger than I thought. 2 years later, it tends to go down at that point, right? Because usually the retirement income is less than the working income. There's always a delay in that process. So, yeah, it's kind of tricky to plan for. What I try to plan for mostly is the distributions from the, retirement accounts and when and how to take those and how to coordinate those with Social Security, right, Jess? So those are the bigger issues. But, there's income and there's allowances and they go up every year for inflation and all that stuff. And if you're kind of thinking about that or concerned about that or how much is the level, Steve, or what can I and can't I do, absolutely give us a buzz. And I'd love to talk to you about that because we have the numbers. I mean, they change obviously yearly, but at least you'll have an idea of where they're at and where you fit and try to start some pre-planning. You know what I mean? So give us a call and I'll be happy to either meet you in the office or just do it right over the phone or do a Zoom meeting.
This is a good conversation to have. A lot of folks don't know about that 2-year look back time period there. And again, this is going to ebb and flow over the years as that income number changes as well. So understanding your Medicare cost, how does it fit within your income plan? A great opportunity to do an income review and a Medicare checkup here. That phone number, 508-552-3230, 508-552-3230. That website, fairwayfinancial.net. Turns out nearly half of America's retirees have a problem, Steve. A recent study by the Alliance for Lifetime Income found that they suffer from spendophobia. That is the fear of spending their savings, even though they might have enough. So what can they do? Well, here's retirement blogger Fritz Gilbert on Morningstar.
In retirement, you're finally at the stage where you're free to do these things with your life, and you don't want to be constrained by that old frugalistic mentality. So it's a big transition. I would say it probably took me about 5 years. And the hack that I use, I set up automatic paychecks, basically. It comes out of a money market fund. I set it up every year end. I go through the numbers again. I restock this cash bucket, and I just set up a paycheck based on my safe withdrawal rate. I know I'm good to spend it.
Well, I like how he talks about this automatic paycheck. So I want you to hit that in just a second, but how do you help clients overcome the fear of spending their retirement money they've worked so hard to save?
I get that all the time because people are afraid they're going to run out of money, Jess. So I know people out there are probably thinking, boy, I wish I can get my wife to be spendophobic. Right?
Yeah, go ahead and pass that one through Tracy tonight.
I'm going to get myself in trouble, but I just think it's hilarious.
I do not have spendophobia. That's a problem for me, yes.
See? So most, but anyway, it is a pattern that I've seen, and a lot of it is generational too. So the older generation, generally speaking, doesn't like to spend a lot of money. Never have, whether it's a depression baby or something along those lines. So that's something that I see. But a lot of it is because most of their money is still in the 401k or 403b plan, meaning it's in the market. And they know that it can go up, which is good, but it can also go down. And so you heard Fritz say something about the safe money rate. So he's playing that game too with a little bit of his money. He's probably drawing like 4%, which is the number that they use. It's not a guaranteed number, by the way. It's just a number that they feel, they meaning the money management world out there, they feel that if you take that, you should be okay, that your money should last into your 90s, which is good. But I go one step further and I say, look, retiring is a whole different ball game. there's different planning, and there's buckets involved. He did mention a bucket, his little spend bucket, because as you know, Jess, I invented these 4 buckets like over 20 years ago that I put into my book, Tee Up Your Retirement, and I talk about it in my workshops. And those 4 buckets are, the first one is income. It's all about income. And for most of us, the only guaranteed income we have is Social Security. That's the only one we have for most of us. That's not good enough. We need to have more stable, guaranteed income. And there's no one that I've met that has argued with that. Everyone says, oh, more income? Okay, that's cool. So I can tame the fear of spendophobia by taking a piece of your 401k and creating literally a personally controlled pension plan, if you will, through a guaranteed income annuity. So I had someone come in, with a sheet of paper, and she goes, this is the pension. She goes, but I don't understand this stuff down below. I go, well, let me explain. I said, your pension is an annuity. For example, they're giving you about 20 options because, God forbid, 15 isn't enough. So I said, your case, your pension is a money purchase pension. So you have the right to roll that over like a regular IRA, or you could tell the company you want a paycheck for life. And there was life only, and I explained to her that life only is not a great option because if you take it and you die the next day, all that money is gone. Bye-bye. You just disinherited your heirs. So the next options were joint in 1/2, joint in 2/3, but those are all spousal options. So if you're single, you got to skip down a little lower where it says term certain with life only. So those numbers indicate the term certain, whether it's 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. And I don't want to get deep in the weeds, but what I'm getting at is some of these pension plans you have the right to roll over to, which is cool. But there's a purpose for that and a need for that. Like I had someone come in who's doing very well for himself, Jess, very well. Mm-hmm. And I looked at him, I go, what do you need me for? I mean, that's what I said. And he said, well, he goes, I seen all these so-called financial planners. This is his language, not mine, although I don't disagree with him. And he said, they all just thought they were too cool for school or this, that, and the other thing. He goes, none of them impressed me as much. I go, well, I'm kind of flattered that someone with your savings is listening to my show coming in to talk to me. I said, I really appreciate that. He goes, well, I want someone who could speak like at my level and not talk down to me, So I thought, that's cool. I said, well, it's my blue-collar upbringing, I guess. So he said to me, Steve, he goes, what are these guaranteed income things I hear about on your show? And I explained to him that I said, look, you've got a lot of money in the 401k and the brokerage accounts, but as you know, I said, you don't have any guaranteed money other than Social Security. He goes, yeah, I know. That kind of bugs me. I said, well, why don't you consider? I go, let me run some numbers. And he goes, well, what do you recommend? I said, well, it's kind of more along the lines of how much guaranteed income you want, but generally speaking, 25, 30% of the portfolio is what I find to be the norm. He goes, well, why don't we run that amount and a little bit more? So I said, that's cool. So it's all about sharing the information, right, Jess, and
sure.
Educating people.
Education, yeah.
So I showed him. He was blown away by the numbers. He goes, the insurance company is guaranteeing this forever? I go, I know, right?
It seems a little too good to be true, but it's real.
I go, it sounds crazy. I go, but this is not a hypothetical illustration. This is here is the number. And if you take it next year, it's X. And the year after this, it's Y. And the year after that, it's Z. It's right there. And I go, it includes your wife, too. He goes, well, that's awesome. There's no reduction? I go, no. It's a joint and 100% check. So, again, it is a personally controlled pension. Okay, it's an annuity, a private annuity issued by an insurance company, but literally it's a pension that you don't need your company to do. You can do it yourself from your 401k and your 403b. So he was kind of blown away by that, and I said, well, yeah, it's available. And I says, the problem is the education out there is so limited because a lot of these folks who manage the money, they don't do these, okay, because they can't get paid the way they want to get paid, which is year after year after year after year after year. I go, and I'm not saying that to be negative. I'm just saying it because it's a fact. It's an undisputed fact. So he goes, well, that's why I don't really deal with a lot of these guys anyway. He goes, I've done very well on my own, and I'd love to see that. So we're going to get together and talk about that, Jess. So in this case, that will help with spendophobia. If somebody knew, for example, that they had Social Security plus another, I don't know, $2,500, $3,000 a month coming in, that would significantly reduce the fear of spending some of their other money. And I love what that guy Fritz said about creating a bucket, because the income is one bucket, the inflation is the other bucket, emergency money, of course, is a bucket, and your favorite, Jess?
The fun bucket. That's my favorite one.
It is. It's a lot of
Go
people
ahead and
love it.
put no spendophobia in the fun bucket. We don't want you to have spendophobia in the fun bucket.
That's a really good idea. I might do that going
You're
forward
welcome.
here. But, yeah, thank you.
But no, you're
and they're all
exactly right, though.
color-coded. They're
Yes.
all color-coded, right? Income is the green bucket because green means go, it means income. And red is the inflation bucket because it's the risk versus reward. Blue is the calming emergency money that's in the bank. And purple is your spend money. It's go ahead and spend it. Will you take a vacation? Enjoy it.
Yeah.
And when you come back, come to my office and tell me how much fun you had. Because those are the conversations that I like to have with my customers, right? Hey, where'd you go this year? What did you do? Isn't that awesome? And you look at this. You still got plenty of cash and plenty of income.
I love that.
That's the conversation that most everybody out there wants to have. So if you want to have that conversation with me, give me a call. I'm right here, and it'll take it 15, 20 seconds. Leave a message. We'll get back to you right away. And you can meet me in my office, meet my wonderful staff. We're right in Hyannis. Oh, by the way, lots of places to shop in Hyannis this time of year. I mean, seriously, there's some great stores. So just throwing it out there for the local vendors who are wonderful. But just tell them how to do it, and we'll be happy to do that for you.
Yeah, if you want to go through these buckets of money, again, that income, inflation, emergency bucket, that fun bucket, and then most importantly, make sure that you're putting that stress and that anxiety at ease, that you can get out there and spend your money because you've done all the hard work, you've saved, you've sacrificed, you've met with Steve so that you know you can take that trip of a lifetime and know that you're still going to be okay. We'll do this income review for you as well. We'll do it complimentary. 508-552-3230. 508-552-3230. That website, fairwayfinancial.net. Real quick, Steve, I think, you and I have been doing this show for a long time. We like to have fun on the show. If you can't tell that, I mean, we do. We like to laugh and have fun. And you are really passionate about what you do. That's why you have literally been doing it 39 years. What makes you stand out from those big names we all know of and just some other folks even maybe in town? I mean, what makes you different? Why should folks come sit down with you?
I don't want to be the big name. I don't get lost in the shuffle. I mean, seriously, I have so many people come in and go, I'm with X, and I'm a number. I'm like a pebble in a pond. I had one lady come in. She goes, I haven't talked to my advisor in 3 years. I go, you have got to be kidding me. I go, you need to fire that person immediately. That is ridiculous. I go, that's dangerous to your financial health.
Yeah.
And I work with, as you know, a money manager, Vincent. He does a wonderful job. He's independent. He's with Schwab. I've referred him like 5 people just in the last week. And, Vinny loves to hear these stories about other money managers who neglect their clients. Because he says, Steve, that's just so easy for me to walk in and help these people because this is what I've been doing for 30 years. He's another professional with many years behind him. And he goes, it's just crazy the stories I hear. And that's the last thing you need is to someone not pay attention to your situation or treat you like you're, a nobody because you don't have a $500,000 or $1 million portfolio. I mean, that actually disgusts me a little bit because our job, we're supposed to help people. If I recall when I took all these tests back in the 80s, it didn't say anywhere on the test, you're only supposed to help people with $1 million, Jess. I was raised different. I was a blue-collar kid. We didn't have a lot of money. So when we did whatever we had, we respected and we appreciated. That's just how I am, and it just doesn't matter. I mean, now, obviously, you can't walk in with $100 and say, Steve, can you help me out.
Are you a magician?
You know what I mean? I mean, you got to have some sort of spendable monies that you can afford to put aside for a while or to do whatever. So that part is important. Don't get me wrong. And if I can't help you, I'm not going to leave you hanging. I'll steer you to the right place. You know, or I will guide you to say, hey, you should probably do this and this, okay? And I do that a lot. I mean, that's what we're here for. And I think that's what makes us different, is that we care. We have an unbelievable staff. They're fantastic. And I think that's a big reason why we get a lot of phone calls and a lot of attention, and we get a lot of people from bigger firms who just are kind of sick of being cast aside because they don't have $1 million.
Get more details on the website, fairwayfinancial.net. That's fairwayfinancial.net.
Steve Anzuoni is a licensed insurance provider by the Division of Insurance and is not registered as an investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Steve Anzuoni, Massachusetts Insurance License 3851053. Annuity guarantees rely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing insurance company. Read your contract for restrictions, limitations, or penalties. Steve Anzuoni is not licensed in all 50 states. To find out if Steve Anzuoni is licensed in your state, please call 508-398-3337.